There are over 1 million people living in Honolulu. I should know. I live in Honolulu, and it's crowded. The cases you're about to witness are real people with real situations. I should know. I work for local justice. From the land of aloha, local justice, the nation's first interactive courtroom, you are the jury. Calling local justice case number 623-4, Hatchell versus Bunag. Plaintiff Michael Hatchell, a University of Hawaii graduate, is a loan officer at a local mortgage bank, suing Cheryl Bunag for $618.18. He claims he loaned his former friend his truck, but that she allegedly took it off-roading contrary to their verbal agreement. Born and raised in Hawaii, defendant Cheryl Bunag, a professional dancer and makeup artist, admits some responsibility for the plaintiff's claim. Cheryl says Michael's truck already had damages to the bumper.
All right, Mr. Hatchell, you're the plaintiff in this case. I'm going to ask that you go ahead and explain to me what the situation is with this case. How do you know Miss Bunag?
Oh, we've been friends for a while. We both work in the same restaurant industry, so we've known each other for a few years.
And so she came and asked you to borrow your truck?
Yeah, well, I live not too far from Sandy's Beach, and we'd been hanging out, and she had a friend in town, and I had to go to work, so I told her she could go ahead and take my truck while I was working that day, and she could use it for the day.
Any particular purpose she was going to be using it for?
Just to take her friend to the beach is what she said.
All right. Go ahead.
And so what ended up happening was when they went to the beach, they got my truck stuck in the sand, and in trying to get it out, they had somebody attach a rope to the bumper, and they tried to pull it out of the sand, and they pretty much ripped the bumper off. And so after that happened, they called me, and instead of being at work all day, I had to come out, hire a tow truck. They didn't have any money on them at the time, so I had to hire a tow truck and have the tow truck pull the truck out, and then of course I had to go get the bumper fixed.
What kind of truck is it?
It's a '89 Ford Ranger.
And how long have you had it?
About a year now.
And where do you live again? By Sandy's?
I live out in Port Lock.
Port Lock?
Yes, sir.
Right on the ocean?
Close to it.
Close to it. Okay, enough where there's a lot of salt air.
Pretty much.
So how's the condition of the truck?
It's old, but it's a good truck.
Rusted?
Some parts, but not too terrible. It's not going to fall apart.
Okay, you're asking for damages for what now?
For the towing cost, for
Towing.
having the tow truck come out and pull the truck out of the sand, approximately $200. And then in order to have the truck legal on the street, I needed to have the bumper fixed because it had the license plate and everything on there. So that cost another $300 something for the bumper, plus some labor and those things on the bill. So I think the total was $618 for both the towing and the bumper.
Do you have any receipts that might show this? If you'd hand it to the bailiff, please. I'll just take a look at that. All right, I see it's a total of $618.80. Is
Yes,
that
sir.
right? All right. I note that part of this is labor.
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
Labor from the shop that did the truck.
Okay, all right. Ms. Bunag,
Yes.
you've heard what Mr. Hatchell has
Yes.
to say. You want to say anything?
Yes, I offered to pay for the towing. However, I don't feel I should pay for the bumper, which was already damaged from the beginning. So then he became very unreasonable with me, and now I decide not to pay for anything because
You borrowed the truck.
I borrowed the truck, yeah.
And where did you go?
I went a little past Sandy's, and I had my friend drive, and we got stuck in the sand. We didn't know it was that deep, so.
You went driving on the sand?
No, we actually were parked, yeah. And it was in that little area, there was sand there, and we didn't know it was that deep, so. Therefore, I asked some guys to help us, and when they wrapped the rope around the bumper, then it just came off. It was already rusted, and I just don't feel I should pay for that bumper.
There's more than just the bumper, apparently. There's,
Well, I did offer to pay for the towing at
She
first.
said that the bumper was already damaged, and the bumper wasn't damaged. And like I said, the truck's a little bit old, but it wasn't. It's not like it was falling off or
Well, if
anything
it
like
was
that.
enough for the guy to just pull it and it would just come off.
Come on, it
of
wasn't
course.
just pulled. You guys must have towed it, put it
No,
on
he
the
just
truck.
pulled it. We didn't tow it yet.
And these guys were towing it, what, another truck?
They didn't even attach the rope to the other truck yet. They were just pulling it and making sure it was tight.
I don't think that was the case at
Well,
all. It can't. I don't
that's what
think-
happened,
I don't think the
Mikey.
bumper was just able to just pull off by a rope.
Okay, excuse me. Miss Bonag, when you
Yes.
went and asked arranged with Mr. Hatchell to borrow the truck, basically what the law says is you're going to have to take reasonable care of that truck. And so
Yeah, I
that's
understand.
the issue here is did you take reasonable care? Because apparently you're not denying it. You borrowed the truck, yeah.
Yeah.
And so the question, I guess, in my mind is, did you take reasonable care? And you say you drove it to the beach, and he knew you were going to drive it to the beach?
Mm-hmm.
And you parked in the, doesn't sound like you parked in the
Sandy
parking
area.
lot. Was this off the
It
main?
was not really a parking area, no.
So why did you go into that particular area?
Well, it just seemed like a good spot to just look out.
You weren't going to go swim or anything, I take it, that day?
Well, yeah, my friend had a surfboard in the back of the truck, and that's why we wanted to borrow the truck.
Wasn't there a parking lot right there at Sandy's?
No, it was a little past Sandy's. I really don't know where the spot was, but it's not exactly at Sandy Beach.
Mr. Hatchell, you have anything else? I do have your receipts here. Anything else you wanted to add?
No, sir. That's pretty much. It's pretty basic, you know. As far as I'm concerned, she's the one that was responsible for the truck at the time. So.
So, Rico, how you figure bailment? That's what I thought. Let me think about that. Okay, we're going to take a recess, and then I'll come back and render verdict.
All rise.
Please be seated. All right, Mr. Hatchell, having reviewed this case briefly, I'm of the opinion that we have a bailment situation in which Ms. Bunag had an obligation to take and use reasonable care of your property, which, in my opinion, she did not. As regards the replacement of the bumper, the mounts, and the labor, however, that is questionable to me. You may have paid that with these receipts, but whether or not that was all the fault of Ms. Bunag, I have a question in my mind. In other words, this truck is 14 years old. You've had it a year. Somebody else had it before you. I don't know the exact nature or condition of the truck, but I can assume that since you live on the ocean or near the ocean, it's pretty well rusted. And because of its age and the rust, it's not surprising to me that the bumper falls out when a couple of boys, blallers over there, pull off the bumper with a piece of rope. I've decided that I'm going to opt in this particular case to send this matter to the jury. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you, the viewing audience, are the local justice jury. Once you determine this, you should then render a verdict accordingly. Thank you very much. The court will now stand in recess.
Well, Miss Bunag now is coming out of the judge's court. Tell me, though, I mean, the kind of truck, was that an off-road truck with four-wheel drive?
It wasn't, you know, and I can see the judge's point of view on that. I'm just probably more disappointed that we're probably not going to be as good friends anymore. And, you know, this kind of stuff happens, and
Yeah, so did they really pull that rope and the bumper come flying out?
they really pulled it off.
So this truck was going to bust up.
Yes.
And what kind of relationship did you have with this young, handsome man?
We're just friends. We know each other for a long time in the industry, and yeah.
Do you feel that your truck was, repairable, or was it kind of on the edge of being?
Yeah, I think it was just fine. They were just they made a mistake when they pulled the bumper off. They shouldn't have been doing that.
So what kind of relationship did you have with this lovely young lady?
We're just friends. We've known each other for a few years.
I see. Any other possibilities? She's a beautiful young lady.
Probably not after this.
Oh, I see. So there was something brewing there, would you say?
Maybe.
Well, you know, maybe there is a strong possibility of you guys getting back together. Miss Bunag, please come back in here just for a moment now. You two guys are so beautiful. Why don't you guys, honey, just hug? Go ahead. You see? All right, you guys. Hey, listen, congratulations, both of you. Keep the friendship going now. Go ahead, hand in hand, walk on. Well, go ahead. There they go. Beautiful. Love you guys. Now is the time to cast your vote. Do that right now. Let your fingers make the vote. Do it now. News.